Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to Damien After Dark. If you haven't subscribed or you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button below so you can get all my videos first before anybody, okay? So I'm a little up close in today's video, a little up close and personal. I'm changing the background a little bit. And I'm actually working on an in-house studio to make these videos. So I got a room that I'm kind of slowly creating a little studio. I want to have my own little set with a microphone. I want to do it professional and cool with my own taste to it so we can get the full Damien After Dark effect, okay? Today's video is Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 6, Episode 8, Talk to the Braids. Before I get into that, I want to send my thoughts, prayers, everything, good vibes, spirits, whatever you believe in. Please, send your thoughts and prayers out to those who are being affected by the hurricane right now. Maybe those who are in the path of the hurricane, those who've lost homes, lost loved ones. I've been seeing some things on TV. So, sending our hearts out to those, it's sad to see what's going on in the world. It's every day, it's something new. But that's why these videos are here, to hopefully bring some joy into someone's life, take their mind off of things like that. So let's get into reviewing Season 6, Episode 8, Talk to the Braids, The Real Housewives of Potomac. This episode picks up on the assassination of Giselle from last week when Wendy read her for filth, okay? So we remember when Wendy went off about Giselle talking about these rumors that Eddie had allegedly cheated on her that was in the blogs. There's no truth to it, unlike with Ashley's fiance, Michael, who we've seen on video. Allegedly, these certain things have been happening. Eddie was just speculation. So we remember Wendy lit that ass up. We continue from that episode and we break the fourth wall a little bit. We see a producer walk by and Wendy goes into another room. You remember Wendy said last week, Giselle, fuck these fucking cameras. Forget these cameras. So they gave us a broken fourth wall moment. For those who don't know what that means, it just means that you get to see production for a moment behind the camera lens, fourth wall. And so Wendy goes to cool off. Someone brings some food in the midst of all this. I guess they order some food and someone brings it over. They all gather into the dining room. Everybody's eating awkwardly and it's just an awkward dinner. So Wendy, Escala, and Karen, they gather their food just like they live in a restaurant in these big bags, and they take off back to their cottage, which I can't say I don't blame them. Had Giselle just pissed me off and I had went off on her like that, or had I been just a bystander in that fight watching, I would have probably been a little awkward, like, all right, I'm going to bed, y'all. Like the tense energy was just there, so it only made sense to leave, just sit around and look at each other. No, I'm going back to my room, smoking a joint and eating, right? So over at the cottage, when Karen, Escala, and Wendy leave, I thought Giselle made a really funny comment. I mean, not Giselle, damn it, why do I keep calling Karen Giselle? They're none of the two are the same. What the hell, Damien? Get it together. Back at the cottage, Karen made the comment that Giselle likes to butt fuck you without warning. I died so hard because Karen, her commentary, just being herself, it's so funny to me because it's kind of a true analogy. Giselle does like to just fuck people over and don't even let you know. She's like a sniper, like just take you right out, and you thought she was your friend. Then we go back to the main house as Giselle, Candace, Robin, and Mia are there, and Candace is taking up for Wendy, which I appreciated. Like I said in previous videos, I'm liking Candace a lot more. She's not as childish to me as I feel like. She's got some funny commentary. She's doing mature things like this that I like, which was taking up for Wendy. She said, obviously this is a trigger for Wendy, as it would be anyone. Giselle, you didn't like when people brought up Pastor Holy Whore Jamal and where he was putting his PP in what holes in what state. So why would you want to bring up cheating rumors from someone else? It reeks misery. So I was glad that Candace kind of took up for Wendy in that moment. And Giselle said, well, she should probably not be in this group if she can handle it. No. Who says that if someone has a moment where they get pissed at what you say, that they can't handle being in that group? If that's the case, you can't handle being in that group, Giselle, because remember at the reunion last year when they didn't air the footage of you breaking down and screaming and having a fit? I don't know if you at home knew that, but Giselle last season had like a breakdown when Karen was coming for her about the whole Jamal stuff, but apparently they did not air that. Look it up, okay? I didn't report it. I'm just repeating the facts of what happened. Candace disagrees with Giselle though. She doesn't think that as well though. She's like, no. Everyone doesn't react to being critiqued the same way. And that is so true. You can't judge someone's reaction when you do something to them. Wendy back at the cottage is crying, which is funny because Candace was telling in the main house, Candace was like, Wendy's probably back at the cottage right now crying. And then those shady Bravo editors, they go back to the cottage and we have Wendy crying. She's talking about what happened, talking to Skyla and Karen, and she's talking to them saying something, she was like, why would they repeat something that is so malicious and not true? And at the same time, I'm like, I understand her being frustrated, but you crying, Wendy, is almost making it look like there's a little truth in there somewhere. The emotion, I don't know if maybe Wendy's just a sensitive person and maybe she cries a lot, but I don't think we've seen her cry much. So me seeing her emotional, because she had tears streaming, it made me feel like that there was something going on and she knows about it, and maybe she didn't think they were going to bring it up on camera and talk about it, and now they've opened this can of worms that she didn't want out. That's kind of one side of it. The other side, which is the benefit of the doubt side, is that maybe nothing is going on and it really just genuinely upset her that Giselle, who she thought was one time her friend, has betrayed her. And also, is it because she's got this picture perfect family? Wendy did. She's got this picture perfect family, the degrees, the husband with the degrees, and she doesn't want that image shattered. I don't know. We're gonna see how this plays out. But as far as my knowledge, there's been no photo evidence, no nothing. I think it was just something put out in the blogs, perhaps for a storyline. My opinion at this point, until we see some footage. Where have the receipts been of Eddie cheating? I haven't seen any receipts. Robin says that she's disappointed in Wendy for how she acted towards her, and says that Robin says that Wendy was always turning her nose up at Robin's relationship with Juan. If you remember the night before, Wendy said something along the lines to Robin, you don't even have a real relationship to worry about. So Robin is upset that Wendy had said that, but at the same time, I kind of agree with Wendy, because to me, it doesn't feel like Robin and Juan are in a real relationship. And to be quite honest with you all, I truly feel like Juan is really only in this for the financial benefits. Some may come for me. This is my opinion. If you remember season 1, Robin and Juan were not in a great place. They were in financial ruin and their relationship was just not great. And then as the show progressed and Robin started making money, we see Juan, he right by her side, he happy, he's in this, but we really don't see him in this as the years go. You can tell he's just not into her. At least that's what I see. I'm not in their home, but from what we see from as a viewer, he doesn't seem as into her as she seems into him. And it's almost like that he's just along the ride for the Bravo paycheck, because 6 seasons in, Robin's making a chunk of change right now. She's making something good, and Potomac is one of Bravo's cash cows at the moment. So I could totally see him being around just for I mean, and not even, I wouldn't even say it's beneficial because he has his children there. So I think all the cards just fell for him. Like, okay, Robin's making this money now. I'm here and my kids are in a stable home where they see both parents. I'm just going to stick it out. But if you're not truly happy, those cracks are going to eventually turn into fucking huge craters and you're going to fall through them and it's going to show. Just like her wedding. Where's the wedding, Robin? We'll get more into that. Ascala says that she thinks Robin is excusing Giselle's behavior and that she hangs out, and when she hangs out with Robin alone, that Robin is different. And Karen and Wendy agree. They say that when they're alone with Robin that she's totally different when she's not with Giselle. And I could totally see that. Giselle has the more dominating personality, so when Robin's around, she's kind of like in the shadow, like as the little cheerleader on the sideline for Giselle every time. So I could totally see where they're coming from. We also, at that moment when the three girls, Ascala, Karen, and Wendy are all in the cottage talking about what happened, we get a confessional with Ascala for the first time. And I was so happy to see that. Some may be like, oh, well, why is a confessional the big deal to you, Damien? Potomac, and just like Atlanta, which recently started doing this, they for the longest didn't give their friend of the housewife role a confessional. And if they did give them a confessional, they would give them a background that was reused already. If you remember on Atlanta, Marlo, Sheree, a lot of the different girls, Tanya, they used the same background that was Sheree's apartment from like season 7. And it's like, they don't even live there. What, can y'all not give these girls the respect that they give Beverly Hills in New York when they bring their friends up on and they actually go get a background of their homes? So I was happy to see that Ascala got her own background. We're getting confessional commentary from her. They're not just throwing her to the side and letting her get no camera time like they did Jen on Dallas. So I'm just glad to see that. She's got an opinion, she's fashionable, she's beautiful, and I got my eyes on Ascala. I have high hopes for her, and she's doing her job as a friend of. She's bringing up stuff. She's trying to get that full-time role, and she's doing the job. She's doing more than what Robin's doing at this point. I'll give her that. Everyone goes to bed, and we go to the next day, day 3 in Williamsburg, and Robin FaceTimes Juan and he says he misses her. He's getting a haircut. Then we go to Karen and she's getting ready because she's gonna be getting sworn in as the ambassador to Surrey County. I feel like last season Karen did something in Surrey County. Anyway, Karen is a big deal in Surrey County. They think of her as a queen, I guess, which I think is a small town. We get to see her later in the episode go there, and she's going to be taking 2 of the girls with her, which is Mia and Wendy. And then we see Wendy, she's getting ready for a CNN interview or something where she's doing it virtual at the house, which I thought was cool. I was like, okay, she's making it work. So she's filming Housewives. At the same time, she's doing political commentary on these big networks in her room, like double tasking it. That's a boss woman right there. I really do. I really like Wendy a lot. Ascala is outside and or not outside. Ascala tells Giselle that her and Wendy need to have a conversation and that Giselle started it all yesterday, which I completely agree with. And another example of Ascala doing her job as a friend of. She's not just sitting around enjoying the perks and not saying nothing. She's engaging in conversations. She's starting different conversations, getting things going to make the story flow. So back at Potomac, we see Ashley. She's there taking care of her 2 children. She just had a baby. She's got Dean, which is like a year or 2 years old at this point. And we see Michael walking around, and there's also a nanny there, which I noted. Did anybody notice, like, the nanny wasn't like some smoking hot nanny, but she also wasn't an ugly girl at all. And I'm thinking, Ashley, why do you have a even semi-cute girl up in your house when you know your man can keep his penis to himself? Like, I'm starting to think that Ashley just don't even care what Michael does. And when he does do something, it becomes a storyline, so it's better for her. And she's just there to collect her bag. And if she is, I don't blame you. Great business plan, Ash. But I'm confused. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe she just trusts Michael at this point to keep a semi-hot nanny around. And I was gonna say, why don't you get a manny? But then I was like, wait a minute. Michael likes to dip his feet in both ponds. So whether you get a man or a woman, um, you fucked either way, girl. Because you may come home and he may have a woman or a man bent over. So we don't know what Michael's gonna do. But Michael gives Ashley a little gift box, and she opens it, which and it contains a gold ring with a red stone. It's got all their birthdays engraved in it, his, Ashley's, and the two kids. And Ashley said that Michael's been stepping up a lot more lately, being there for her, you know, doing things like this. And I really am rooting for their relationship, even though it's had so many ups and downs. Michael, treat Ashley like she deserves, because she's such a beautiful young woman. She could be out here living her life, and you could be potentially wasting her time. So, you know, if you gonna mess around on her, leave her. Don't keep doing my girl like that, because I really like Ashley a lot. I feel like I relate to Ashley a lot. We're both biracial. We're both in the same age. We have similar personalities. I like Ashley a lot as well. And she's the perfect housewife. Just like last week, how she showed up at the house, did her job, stirred some shit, and she dipped. It was almost like she walked in the kitchen, passed the pot, stirred it up a little bit, and she left the kitchen real quick. Y'all remember last week? Ashley's the perfect housewife. She shows her whole life. She knows how to get the job done. Yeah, I think I said that in a video before, but let's see. One thing, I was talking about, I have been hearing my notes about the nanny being young, but we've already talked about that. Back in Williamsburg, the girls are out by the pool, and I noted that there's obviously not much for the girls to do other than go to dinner and sit by the pool, and they play tennis in one scene. Because, I mean, I said in my last video, why the hell did they go on a trip to Williamsburg? Of all places. Like, I don't understand. They couldn't have went to, shit, I don't know, the Hamptons, for crying out loud. I would have took the Hamptons, because they're literally sitting out by the pool. All the scenes, they really don't have much to do. Mia talks about one of her experiences giving birth, and how her husband at the time, not the one she's with now, but her husband at the time, she said literally, when she called him about having birth, he was like, I don't have time for that. I don't have any time for that. I don't know what to tell you. And then she said when he finally came, he brought a PlayStation and plugged it up and played in the hospital room. I was thinking, girl, what kind of scrub of a man did you get? Really? I wish a motherfucker would. I'm laid up, legs propped up, in pain, about to push a whole human out my pussy, and you gonna bring a goddamn PlayStation up in the motherfucking room? Hell to the no. Hell to the no. Robin is talking about her and Juan's engagement, and how Wendy was so excited for them this time last year, but she's not. So she's not over the comments that Wendy made the night before about Robin not having a relationship. So I think she's pushing the narrative and the agenda of her and Juan's engagement even more. And it's like, Robin, until we see the fucking wedding happen on TV, I don't believe he gonna marry your ass. The only way I think Juan is gonna marry Robin is if she needs that marriage to secure her season 7 slot, to secure her little wine glass that they hold, fluke, whatever. The only way that I feel like he is going to propose to her is if the producers go to Robin and they're like, look, Robin, we are looking to bring in somebody new next year, and your story is pretty much been told. Besides your wedding, And if you want to show your wedding next season, we'd love to do that. But if you don't think you're going to get married, we're going to have to let you go. That's the only way I could see them getting married. If it would work like that. That's just in my mind, like how it would work if producers were there and shit, you know. So Wendy or Robin is continuously saying, I don't understand why Wendy's coming for me. And it's like, maybe because you were clit riding Giselle the night before. You know, Wendy once thought you were her friend, Robin. And if you are her friend, I thought whether Giselle says something right or wrong, you're going to check her. Or if she says something wrong, you're going to check her, right? Obviously not, because you have the same opinion as Giselle every time. One thing I did notice, though, is that Giselle did admit that she was shady and messy. Did anybody notice that? I was like, oh, somebody please screen record this so we have it. That we know that she's at least she's admitting it. The first step, y'all, is admitting it. And Giselle admitted that she was a shady, messy, old, miserable heifer. And you know what else I was thinking? When are we gonna get the traditional friendship breakdown of Giselle and Robin? On every Housewives show, we always get the best friends. They have a season to where their friendship falls apart. It happened with Kim and Nene. It happened with Danielle and Teresa. It happened with Ramona and Jill. It happened with Brandy and Stephanie over in Dallas. Lisa and Kyle. It always happens. Giselle and Robin have remained the Green Eye Bandits for 6 seasons strong. Like, I want a season where they go at it. Maybe that can be Robin's last season. That's how we see her exit the show, when her and Giselle go at it. Producers, if y'all use that for next season, you better pay me a cut. Giselle asks Wendy to speak alone, and Wendy ignores her and turns her braids like that. And I think that's where we got the title of the episode, Don't Talk, or Talk to the Braids. Because when Giselle asks Wendy, can I speak to you alone? She kind of turns her braids in her head like this, away from Giselle. So, Robin talks about her and Juan possibly having a child one day. And I'm just like, ha, ha, ha. Okay, Robin. Okay, Robin, you and Juan are gonna have a third child. All right, y'all are also gonna get married at Disneyland, and you're also gonna live happily ever after. And I'm not saying this in a hater way. If they do, I'm all for love. But this is what these eyes see, okay? So y'all don't come dragging me over Robin. Candace wants the girls to be in her music video. So she's got this song called Drive Back, which I listened to, and it's actually not that bad. It's actually a little catchy little song. I'm like, okay, you know, all these housewives always want to sing. Every one of them always come out with a song, and some of them are not so great, but I'll give a few of them their credit. Candace is an exception. Melissa Gorga had a song or two that I like. That one song, I just wanna dance, dance, dance till I can. Like, Melissa has some good little bops. So I took her. I liked her music. I liked Kim's Don't Be Tardy. It was catchy for the moment, but let's be real, Kim's not a singer. You know, a few of the housewives have some songs, and I actually liked Candace's a lot. It's really catchy. She wants the girls to be in her music video, and she says that she's gonna do a dance-off to the song, and she pairs the girls up in teams, and the team with the best dance gets to be in the video. So the girls start practicing. They come up with their little routines, and the girls go out there and dance. And I was actually surprised at, who was it? I believe it was Karen. Who was it? Robin, Giselle, and Mia. It was those three. They were the first group to dance, and I was actually impressed. They had some cool little choreography going on. They stayed in sync. Besides Giselle was a little bit off, but other than that, I was like, if you're looking at, you know, choreography, if you're looking at coordination style, all that. I think they should have won that little dance competition, even though Karen won it by herself. And Karen did a good job as well. She looked great for her age out there getting it. I mean, some may not agree with me, but I really love Karen. I really do. And her glow up from season 1 to now, it's like she's a whole different person. And I just love watching Karen. Let's see. Oh, one of the funny comments that one of the comments Giselle made or Karen made when Giselle was out there dancing. Does anybody remember when she said Giselle's vagina was out there flapping and we weren't turned on at all, but we were clapping? I was like, I died out laughing when Karen said that. Karen has the best confessional moments, I think. Just funny shit coming out of her mouth. Karen got out there and danced. We talked about that. As I said last week and in this video earlier, I really wish they would have creatively put more into this trip, because now we have a scene with the girls out playing tennis. It's Giselle and Candace and I believe Mia, or four of the girls are out there playing tennis and hanging out and talking. Karen is in her small town being sworn in as the ambassador to her county, and we're cutting back and forth, by the way. We're seeing one group go to Karen being sworn in, and we have the other group of girls playing tennis and doing their thing at the house. So Karen's being sworn in her small town as the ambassador to her county, and there's like a total of 8 people there, and I was like, but maybe it was because of COVID, or maybe because it's just a very small town. But I'm like, did y'all just come up with this to have something to film? But no, Karen actually does have the key to the city. So like I said earlier, she's a big deal in her little town, and I'm not going to take that away from her. But she was there, and she gave a little speech, and then Ray gave a speech. He came up, he didn't really give a speech actually, but y'all noticed how he came up there and he was like, he said one small thing, and then he said, do you have something else that you want to announce? And then out of nowhere, Karen was like, and La Dame is expanding into candles and home decor. And if Wendy's face said it all, she was like, candles? Like, and it was, first of all, it was so odd, because why the hell, Karen, are you talking about your brand expanding and you're here at you're being sworn in as an ambassador of your county? It shouldn't really be that deep. And then the whole candle thing. Rewind to a few weeks ago, your friend Wendy was just talking about starting a candle line, and now you've got one. But in the confessional, when the producers asked her about it, Karen acted like, this was something she was already doing. And she said the only reason she didn't bring it up in the first place when Wendy first brought her candle line up was because she didn't want to take away from the moment that Wendy was having. Now, I love you, Karen, but I smell bullshit from a mile away. And I really feel like when Wendy told Karen that she was starting her candle line, a light bulb lit up in Karen's head, and she said, ooh, I'm going to add candles and home decor to La Dame. Now, I could be wrong. Karen could have had this idea a while back, but it seems very convenient once Wendy wants to start her candle business that Karen wants to add La Dame in there as well and add it's her brand as well, candles and whatnot, which is fine. They don't have to compete. They can be girlfriends and go and, do it and make money separately, and it'd be a great thing. Get advice from one another. We want to see Black women succeed. Why not? But at the same time, Karen threw a little bit of shade in her confessional, because I think the producer may have asked her, what's the difference between your candles and Wendy's candles? And Karen said, well, my candle is a three wick candle, so my candle will be able to expand more in a bigger room, or something like that. And it seemed like light competitive shade, because if that would have been me, if I was Wendy, I would have been like, Damn, girl, not only did you steal my idea, but now you're trying to upsell your idea like it's better than mine and kind of act like mine don't really, my candle's not going to permeate the entire smell of a room. So I was kind of looking at Karen like, now that was shady as hell, Karen. Very, very, very shady. Back at the tennis court, Candace is talking about it being their last night there and how they're gonna have a final dinner, and she's worried about the seating arrangements because there is tension amongst the group. Robin, again, is expressing that she's upset about what Wendy said. For the third time in the episode, she's talking about what Wendy said about her relationship with Juan, which makes me think she hit a nerve with Robin, because Robin herself too knows that her relationship really isn't, what she thinks it is, or what she perceives it to be. And the thing that Wendy had said, of course, which we talked about, was you don't even have a relationship to care about. And what I did like about it was that Candace stood up for Wendy in that moment, or really she stood up for the girls in general in that moment, because she told them, look, at this dinner tonight, be good. She actually said, the green-eyed bandits, you all need to, she don't want to worry about any green-eyed bandit banter tonight. That's what Candace said to them. She told the girls to just be nice and that she did not want to hear it. And I was like, yes, Candace, stand up for the group and let them know. I love someone who doesn't just nod and tell them what they want to hear. Like, be like, look, y'all are too much. Tonight at dinner, I don't want to hear it. Don't be going after Wendy and her clothes. Don't be coming for Karen. Don't come for Mia and her big feet. Or wait, that was Candace who said that. Oh, shit. Okay, so, Robin says that she knows who is not invited to her bridal shower. She knows who's not invited to the bachelorette party. And she knows who is not invited to the wedding. And I'm just over here like, Robin, there is not going to be a bridal shower. There is not going to be a bachelorette party. There is not going to be a wedding. Like, she is beating this shit with a dead horse about wine. And it's driving me nuts at this point. Okay, on the way back from being sworn in, I'm sorry, y'all, I can't talk tonight. With Karen being sworn in Surrey County, they're in an SUV, Karen, Wendy, and Mia, and they're headed back to the house. And Messy Mia steps into her role as Miss Messy Mia, and she proceeds to tell Karen and Wendy the scoop that last night when they left, Giselle called her a weak bitch. And she said, if you're going to be a weak bitch, then why are you here? Pertaining to Wendy and her fight that they had gotten into. Which, if you all remember and you flash back to, Giselle did not say those exact words. Now, she did say something along the lines of, like, if you're not going to, if you can't handle it, why are you here? Or you can't be in this group if you can't handle the pressure. Something like that. But I don't remember Giselle saying, are you a weak bitch or something like that. So I was like, okay, Messy Mia, you coming in and stirring the pot a little bit. We see you. We're going to give her some points just for stirring the pot a little bit. So it's the final night's dinner. The girls get there, or they have a chef. They have a chef for all the ladies. The food looks really, really good. Giselle's making hot chocolate and Fireball. I'm like, ooh, I don't even like Fireball, but I'm like, it kind of sounds like it would taste good for a holiday drink. I don't know. Put your little peppermint over in there for the straw. And I have to give it to, I don't know if it was the producer. I guess it had to be the producers. I don't know what, because Wendy walks in. Wendy, Karen, and Mia, they walk in right as Giselle is talking shit on Wendy. And I was like, oh God. Wendy, and Giselle's face was priceless, because she was sitting at the table talking all this shit. Right when they walk in, we see Giselle go, Robin FaceTimes Juan out of the middle of nowhere during this dinner, out of nowhere, and she was like, hi, my non-existent partner, how are you? And Juan was like, what's up? And she says, you know we have a non-existent relationship. How are you? And you could hear, I think Juan said, stop it, Robin, like, quit bullshitting, quit playing on the phone. And I'm thinking, one, your communication sucks. Two, you're being passive aggressive as fuck. And three, you're at dinner with your girlfriends on a national TV show with all these cameras watching. Why are you trying to humiliate your man? But then I was thinking, was she just trying to come off? Was she trying to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Was she trying to be sarcastic to bring all this stuff up to Wendy? Because as the scene played out, that's kind of how it felt. If I was Juan, I would have left Robin a long time ago. I know I'm going to catch a lot of heat for this because I really feel like I beat up on Robin in this video. But God, she's so hard to watch. And I feel like she'd be such a sweet, cool woman outside of this show. But I feel like behind the cameras, she does what she thinks that we want to see, if that makes sense. Wendy apologizes to Robin. She says, if I made you feel any type of way, I'm sorry, which Robin wasn't having it at first. She was like, what? If you made me feel any type of way, what about what you just said about my relationship the other night? And Robin brings up the point that a year ago, Wendy was all cheering because her and Juan were getting engaged. And then today, she says, you don't even have a real relationship. And, which, sorry y'all, I have to agree with Wendy there because she said, yeah, because you've been dick riding Giselle and you co-signed on all the bullshit that she was saying. And if you're my girlfriend, you should at least stick up for me if you see me in a vulnerable position. So I agreed with Wendy when it came to that. Robin wants to turn it around and make it seem like Wendy just came at her out of nowhere. It's like, no, girl, you came at me for how I'm dressing, and then you got something to do with these rumors about my husband. Don't do it. So I have been so far Team Wendy on this whole season when it comes to her. It's almost like there's a group divided. We've got Karen, Wendy, and Mia, and then we've got Giselle and Robin and Candace, which Candace kind of feels in the middle and Escala kind of feels in the middle. So they kind of teeter back and forth. Wendy confronts Giselle on the weak bitch comment. And Giselle, like, for once in Giselle's 6 seasons on being on this show, I have to defend her. She was right. She was like, I didn't say that. And she was. Giselle was completely guilty or completely innocent in this situation. She did say, if you can't hang with this group, you don't need to be here. Now, if that translates to you're a weak bitch, I don't know. Giselle did say, I say enough crazy stuff out of my own mouth. I don't need you adding stuff to it. And that is definitely true. She does say some crazy shit. So ain't no needing to add nothing to it. She already digs her own graves. They agree to hopefully move on one day. And Wendy tells Giselle that being in a marriage and having Eddie's last name is vindication enough for her to know that her man ain't cheating. And they pretty much just, okay, agree to disagree, or whatever you want to call it. They want to work it out, and they agree to work on it in the future. We'll put it that way. That's kind of how the episode wrapped up. And then we went into the mid-season trailer, which the mid-season trailer does seem a bit promising. So I'm kind of excited for it. There was a lot going on. I think they need to get rid of Robin next season and bring in someone full-time, because this same cast, in my personal opinion, won't do it for next season. This same cast that we have right now, the season is great. Yes, I'm loving it. But going into next season, I feel like we need to break up Giselle and Robin. What did you think of tonight's episode? And what did you think of the mid-season trailer finale? Are you Team Wendy? Are you Team Robin and Giselle? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. And I love y'all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.